Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation Regimental Combat Team, turn 7.5, Commonwealth. It is July 1939. The Commonwealth has two tech rolls. First, I tried for anti-submarine warfare to 7 or higher. PB generated a 5, so I failed. Second, I tried for anti-submarine warfare to 7 or higher. PB generated a 5. Maybe I said the wrong number. The radar, it was a 3, and for the ASW, it was a 5. But I failed on both purchases. Great Britain has 16 IPP to spend. No, I'm sorry. I had 16, but I lost 4. So I have 12 IPP to spend. I will purchase 4 colonial infantry at 3 each using call to arms special ability. So that's 12 IPP. FEC has 6 IPP to spend. I will purchase 1 militia for 2 and 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4. That brings me to 6. ANZAC, I have 3 IPP to spend. I'll purchase 1 infantry for 3. Okay, so we have some housekeeping from turn 7.4, Japan. Sarge's shell hole in C-Zone P59 had a fighter on map, but the fighter missed. Wait, I should move this down a little bit. The fighter missed rolling a 9. He also was intending to bring 2 heavy cruisers and a torpedo boat destroyer, but when you're attacking a submarine, you're basically the only things that can hit the submarine are an aircraft on map and optionally paired with a destroyer. Can't pair with a torpedo boat destroyer. And if it's an advanced submarine, of course, only an aircraft on map can hunt it. If the defending submarine chooses to engage, of course, I have the option to say, okay, I want to fight with my sub. I want to be able to roll. I could do that. And then if I did that, then all the ships that are in the screening force could hit me. But it wouldn't make sense for me to try to fight with my coastal sub against so many ships. So it wouldn't help Sarge's shell hole to bring the 2 heavy cruisers and the torpedo boat destroyer, since they can't hit the coastal sub and they could only get hit by the coastal sub. So instead we just said, hey, it's just the fighter taking its 1 shot at the coastal sub. It missed, and then that sub submerged. So it did survive. Then another thing was down in C-Zone P61 down here, Sarge's shell hole forgot to roll for the defending Dutch destroyer. We PBE'd it, and it missed as well. I think it rolled a 9. Boss and Bruce pointed out that Java here is jungle mountain terrain. On round 2, the 4 infantry class units got a hit with it. Well, they thought they got a hit with a 2, but since they're attacking into mountains, they missed. That 2 wasn't a hit. So we PBE'd a 3rd round of combat, and the tactical bomber hit with a 4, but the defending infantry missed with a 12. So no change there in Java. In P50, Sarge's shell hole was talking about possibly putting that naval transport in port in Cochin, China. But note, when you unload, like this transport unloaded units into Sarawak, then you can't go in port anywhere else other than the 1 land zone that you dropped units off in. So you can't drop units off in an amphibious assault and then go in port in a different location. You could have a naval combat in this sea zone and then go in port there, but when it comes to amphibious assaults, that's the only place that you could have gone in port there. It didn't matter because Sarge's shell hole didn't actually go in port there, but he was thinking about doing it, and he couldn't. Finally, it might be kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom down there into Sarawak. But Sarawak goes all the way to the edge there. Right there is still part Sarawak. And Borneo does not touch C-Zone P50. And so what that means is that Sarge's shell hole battlecruiser and naval transport had to move into C-Zone P59 and join the majority of the Japanese Navy to drop off the 2 Marines that went there into Borneo. Okay, that's enough housekeeping. Let's go to combat movement for the Commonwealth. So maybe that's a little bit too high. How's that? Okay. From C-Zone A23, there's 2 submarines there, and they're going to move up to A5 and perform convoy raiding. These next moves I went over with Hambone to see if he wanted to declare war with Italy or if he wanted to... he's got this German sub here in M4. Did he want to fight 1 round of combat as certain ships move through? So I went over all these moves with him ahead of time. From Lower Egypt, 2 heavy cruisers leave port to C-Zone I5, and then they move to M8. From Lower Egypt, British naval transport and an Anzac naval transport leave port to C-Zone M8. Then these 5 ships move over 1 space to M4. And I asked Hambone, would you like to engage in 1 round of combat? Of course, he doesn't want to do that. Then these 4 of these ships, the coastal sub has run out of movement, so it can't keep moving. But the 2 heavy cruisers and the 2 naval transports then move into C-Zone M2. And the Italian Navy has the option to declare war and fight. If that happened, I couldn't put, say, those naval transports in a continuing force. He'd be able to pounce on those guys. Actually, that isn't what happened, you guys. What happened is, 1 at a time. I thought about doing that move of those 4, but I wouldn't be able to protect those naval transports if he did that. I don't think he's going to declare war on me, but just walking through my thought process for people learning the game, I moved the 1 transport in by itself and asked, do you want to declare war? He doesn't. So then it goes in port in Gibraltar here. And then I did that with the other naval transport. Moved through, you want to declare war? No? Okay, go in port. And so then I moved in the 2 heavy cruisers, and he could declare war if he wanted to. And if he did that, then I could have moved other naval units in, and we would have had 1 big combat here. But he did not want to declare war with the Italians, so those heavy cruisers moved over to A44. All right. I think that was all the stuff that I went over with Hambone. Now we'll go back to other combat movement, but there's not going to be opportunity for any kind of combat. So from C-Zone, or from lower southern England, 1 light carrier leaves port to C-Zone A21 and then moves over to A23. Moves over to A23. From Warsaw, that's not on camera, is it? From Warsaw, the former Polish fighter, because of course now Poland is aligned to Great Britain, this fighter will fly over and land on the carrier. Alrighty. From A23, the fighter that's on map will land in southern England. Let's do some ships that are on convoy escort duty here. From A18, 1 destroyer will move to A35 and go... I don't really need to do that. A35. I already have a unit on A35. Wonder why I said that. Okay, from A18, one destroyer will just move to A44. From A19, one destroyer will move down one space to A27 and be on convoy escort duty. From A20, one guy will move to A28 and be on convoy escort duty. And from A21, one destroyer will come off escort duty and go down to A44. All right, that's the end of my combat movement. I just have the two submarines here doing convoy raiding. Yep, looks like that totally shows the field. So we've got a sub at +2. The red is the attacker. So I do 2 points of damage. That's the max for that line. In the Norway line, Germany loses 2. So that puts Germany down to 53. Okay, that's the end of combat. Now we've got non-combat movement. Okay, Warsaw. Let's go over here to Poland. So from Warsaw, 2 infantry and a cavalry will move to East Poland. From Donoslavsky, 2 infantry will move to East Poland. That will bring me up to 5 infantry in East Poland. Alrighty. Let's go over here to A23. I should have changed. These guys are actually British. I'll change out the ships later, but for right now, let's change out these 2 guys in the Netherlands. Oh, that gives me more money. No. These guys are not. I did not do that correctly. Sorry about that, guys. Those guys are Dutch. They are not yet British. Okay. But I do get to move the Dutch ships, and they're going to come over to A23. So these guys are in A23 as well. The coastal defense ship and the torpedo boat destroyer. Okay, from southern England, 1 fighter will fly down to Gibraltar. No. God, you guys, I'm just sucking. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to do this over the lunch hour and I'm discombobulated. Okay, from C-Zone A27, 1 tactical bomber will fly to Gibraltar. That's what's flying to Gibraltar. Let's see where to put this guy. Okay, and then from England, from southern England, a fighter will fly to that light carrier. Well, I guess first, let's not do that yet. I'm moving my task force here in A27, which is a light carrier. Where is that? Oh, yeah, it's right there. Okay, a light carrier, a British destroyer, Anzac destroyer, and a torpedo boat destroyer. Those 4 ships will move down here to A44. All right, then the fighter. That is in Southern England. We'll fly down to land on that carrier. Okay, that was not very organized. I'm going to have, let's have the battleship come out of port to A44 and the 2 heavy cruisers come out of port to A44, but have the torpedo boat destroyer go in port in Gibraltar. So I've got a torpedo boat destroyer, an Anzac naval transport, and 3 British naval transports in port there. One of those British naval transports will leave port to A44 and then go up to A21 and go in port in southern England. I'll get that on camera in a second after I get that unit moved into port here in southern England. So what I did was, now there's a torpedo boat destroyer. I don't need that torpedo boat destroyer. The torpedo boat destroyer will leave port and go over to A23. Let's get more stuff in A23. Put that over here, along with the Dutch stuff is on that card, and the light carrier. While I'm up here, I'm going to take 1 battleship out of port to A22 and move it to A21 and go in port in southern England in A21. Oh my God, what a mess. Oh, also while I'm up here, I'll have 1 Marine move over to southern England. Okay. All right, let's go back down to Gibraltar. Here in Gibraltar, 1 naval transport will leave port to A44, or no, M2, and it's doing strategic naval movement. So it can't be, you can't declare war. The Italians can't declare war on this naval transport because it's doing strategic naval movement. I don't need to pick up 2 Marines. I'll pick up 2 infantry. And strategic naval move, 1 space to M1, 1 space to M3, a 3rd space to M6, 4th space to M7, 5th space down here to Lower Egypt, and drop off 2 infantry there in Lower Egypt. And then go in port in Lower Egypt with that. It's on the northern side. Where did I put that naval transport? Here we go. Okay. In port here. Okay. What else is on my to-do list? Okay, down in Africa. In South Africa, oops, I hate to turn this sideways, sorry. I don't know if that'll be. From Southwest Africa, the seaplane will fly to to Cape Town. So it's in the city there. And then from Cape Town, the cavalry will move to South Africa. So in South Africa, there's an infantry and a cavalry. And in Cape Town, there's a militia and a seaplane. I'm going to end up adding 2 colonial infantry. Why don't I just do that now? I'll add in the 2 colonial infantry while I'm on camera down there. So essentially, I have 2 infantry and a cavalry in South Africa, and I'll have a militia, an infantry, and a seaplane in Cape Town. No, I'm sorry, in South Africa. Okay. Let's see. Over here, I'm going to do a move. Let's have 1... what do I want to do? No, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it here. I'm not going to make any moves with Calcutta. Is that everything as far as non-combat movement? Oh no, I'm going to move this sub, my little coastal sub. I forgot about the Dutch. It will move from P59 to P60, cowering, hiding, trying its best to survive. All right, that is it for movement. Placement of units, I already did the two that were, let's do here in Australia. I'll add one more infantry here to Sydney. So I have 3 militia, 3 infantry in Sydney, and a motorized infantry. Got the militia North Island, South Island. I'll add an infantry to Calcutta. Maybe I should, I'm just wondering about what Italy will do. Sorry for doing this on the fly. I think I am going to move 1 FEC infantry over to southern India to Maharashtra, and then the one I'm building, I'll have one of the guys that's there move down here. So the net effect will be there'll be the same number of infantry in Calcutta that there were, but so there's still 7 FEC infantry in Calcutta. So just going over the disposition of the forces here, I've got the militia in Sarawak, infantry in Hong Kong, militia in Ceylon, infantry, FEC infantry in southern India, militia, FEC infantry in Maharashtra, and in Calcutta, 2 British infantry, 7 FEC infantry, 2 Anzac infantry, 1 Gurkha, 2 Anzac artillery, 2, what is that? British anti-aircraft artillery. Oh, and I get to place a militia and an anti-aircraft artillery. So I have a 3rd FEC anti-aircraft artillery and 1 militia in Calcutta. Get that militia on the map. Okay, so I think we're good as far as FEC. Let's collect income for Anzac and FEC. Anzac is at 7. FEC is at 14 plus 2 bonus income. So FEC is at 16. Okay, let's do placement of units for Great Britain. I did the 2 down in Cape Town and South Africa. Let's go over here to Transjordan. We'll get 1 colonial infantry, and the other one will go in Lower Egypt. Okay, let's see. Then collect income for Great Britain. I am at 28, plus I get to collect 5 bonus income, so 33. All right. I get a recruitment roll for the Netherlands at 1. I've got that teed up on PBE. I rolled an 11. Ooh, it's just, whenever I see these 12s and 11s that I'm rolling, I'm like, why can't PBE give that to me when I'm rolling tech? All right, let's go to Free France's turn. I don't have any money, so I don't get to purchase anything. I don't have any combat movement. Non-combat movement. The French fighter that's on map here in A21 will come off map and land in southern England. The French battleship that's in A28 is going to come off convoy escort duty and move 1 to A21, 2 to A22, and then go in port in London. Then down in I-5, the submarine is going to move through the Suez over to M4 and join the British coastal sub. There in M4. I think that's all my movements. I don't have any units to place. I collect 4 IPP. All right, now we have disposition of forces. I've already done South Africa, India, and Australia. So in Western Egypt, 4 infantry, 1 mountain infantry, 1 anti-aircraft artillery. In Lower Egypt, 1 militia, 4 infantry, 1 anti-aircraft artillery, and the northern half of Lower Egypt is a naval transport in port. In the southern half of Lower Egypt is a destroyer in port. Transjordan has a infantry. I want to fly, I forgot, I wanted to fly this medium bomber from Gibraltar to Lower Egypt. Okay. Belgian Congo has a militia. Let's go to A44. There's a lot of stuff here in A44. I think I have 1 battleship, 5 heavy cruisers, 2 British light cruisers, 1 Anzac light cruiser, 3 British destroyers, 1 Anzac destroyer, 1 light carrier with a fighter. There's also the French medium bomber on map. In Gibraltar, yeah, I had these guys. These guys aren't in port anymore. They're out here. The only things that are in port there in Gibraltar is a torpedo boat destroyer, an Anzac naval transport, and a British naval transport. All right. And then in Gibraltar, 1 militia, 1 infantry, 2 marines, 1 anti-aircraft artillery, and a tactical bomber. I think that's everything down there. I've got the 3 destroyers on escort duty, 1 each, in A27, A28, and A35. In southern England, 4 militia, 1 airborne infantry, 1 marine, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 French fighter, 1 British fighter, 1 air transport. In port, 1 battleship, 2 naval transports. In northern England, 1 militia. In London, 1 infantry, 1 infantry. Oh yeah, but I've got the French battleship, the British battleship, and the British battle cruiser. So could this air transport? Let's see, he does have enough airborne. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He could bring 2 airborne and a medium bomber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. I don't think he's got the juice. Okay, I'm just leaving it like that. In A23, I have a light carrier with a fighter, a coastal defense ship, a destroyer, a torpedo boat destroyer, a Dutch coastal defense ship, and a Dutch torpedo boat destroyer. Up in A5, I have 2 submarines. I believe that is everything. Next up is Hambone with turn 7.7, Italy.